Kia ora, water signs. We're doing elements for the last time, for now anyway, this week until it comes into the new moon in Capricorn. Then we'll be getting back into individual signs. So for this Cancerian, this is for the Cancerian full moon, which happens tomorrow. Water signs, Pisces, Scorpio, and beautiful Cancer. So this is your reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, as I always say. And hopefully you've been taking a break, if you can, taking it easy at this time. So let's see what's happening for you. Excuse me. Water signs. I've had pretty bad hay fever, so I'm just a bit sort of... and thanks again for all your likes and shares, subscribes, all of that stuff, your comments. It's really a great thing because it gets these videos to be seen by more people, so thank you. Okay, so let's just get a few cards. The cards have been a little bit stubborn. Now they're not, they just fell up. Okay, we've got quite a few. I'm just going to pull them out here, water signs, and we'll go through, talk about them, and then we do go through and clarify if you haven't joined me before. So thanks for joining me. Okay. Wow, we've got a massive, massive trip here. A storyline, a storyboard. We start out with a very impulsive night. And of course, it could be aspects of yourselves, water signs. We've got the Knight of Wands, which is an energy of compulsion, really, reactionary. You might be seeing this in your world. Maybe it's aspects of yourself that you recognize. Of course, there's a lot of, I think, over this Christmas and New Year period, sort of feeling a lot of tension, I guess, and it's understandable, I suppose, because of, general, economic times and all of that. But anyway, I digress. Knight of Wands, very reactionary character. It's like spot fires popping up left, right and centre, and is it coming from me or is it coming from you? This is the sort of question that you ask yourself. Or is it just the general zeitgeist at the moment? We then have the Princess, the beautiful Princess, one of my favourite cards of discs. There is something new coming in for you, water signs. You might have tried a few different things over this last year that haven't quite worked out or haven't quite worked in the way that you expected them to. But there is something new coming through. And it could be, I think, aspects of the way that you do what you do. And you're shifting that up. Or you've understood, you've understood certain aspects of how much power you have as an individual, in fact. I say that because we've got the Magician, Thoth Tahuti, moving between worlds here, moving between worlds, messages between worlds, translating things in a different way, maybe. There's an untouchability about the Magician, and of course it does indicate a high level of mastery in your world, in your life. So it's beautiful to get the Magician. We will go through and clarify if I didn't say that before. And then we have the ultimate, the High Priestess, this beautiful High Priestess. Our intuitive, not only we seem to be very fluid in our ways of operation at the moment, water signs, and quite confident within that. Because we see here we've got the Magician, but we've also got the High Priestess. Of course, water signs' intuitive capabilities are quite acute. You know, if you've got a chart that's heavily water, you know, we're emotionally driven. The High Priestess has a lot of information for us, and I do think there's something within this, if this makes sense, that the High Priestess, you entering that zone or giving yourself a space to enter it. And holiday time is perfect time for that, for High Priestess work. You know what I mean? So we start to understand, we start to receive more info about how we do, what we know. Often you can go, we don't think about what we know so much, do we? It's always like, yeah, I know how to do long division or something. But what we know from our intuitive parts of our brain. Anywho, so I see a water sign. I see water signs bringing in something new. After a few stops and starts, maybe, or a few times where one has had to actually decipher the difference between ego and your intuition. I mean, it can be quite complicated sometimes. Then we have the Chariot card, the ultimate crab, you know, works in motion. There are works in motion. You're not only gaining information on a personal level for yourself, emotionally, and possibly in terms of the way that you can express your abilities to express, and that you've extended your range of expression here. Not only that, but you're able to put that into motion. The Chariot rises from the primordial seas that are just salt, you know, salty water that bring life to form. There's a balance, an internal balance here that allows the Chariot to take off in that way, creating along the way water signs. So it's pretty interesting. Then we have beautiful death, transformation. In order to have done this or to be experiencing this, you have allowed some things to fall away, to let go of a few things. Obviously, it's death. We need to do that in order to bring something new in, and that's what you are doing. So let's go through. I'm going to clarify with Brian Froud, Pixie and Fairies today for water signs. I guess we've got a few too many cards, maybe, but you know, what the heck? It doesn't really matter, does it? So this Knight of Wands is what I'm interested in, Pixies and Fairies. Along the way here, as I said before, stops and starts, spot fires popping up. Maybe you started those fires in a kind of direction of your own will, obviously. Maybe some of them didn't work. You had to temper the old impulses a wee bit. But in the doing of that, dear water signs, this is how we all learn, isn't it? This is how we all extend our knowledge, our internal knowledge. We have the beautiful fairy godmother. You know, working her, I always see them as sort of golden apples, but moving those, working with them. We've got a lot of wisdom in this card. We've got a lot of guidance and safety, in fact. To have the fairy godmother at the beginning of any reading is a pretty good sign if we look at it as that. Weighing up credit with the debit, with the debt, the ledger, we get the micromancer. We've been able to decipher quite clearly, as I said before, the difference between ego and psyche, our intuitive capabilities. This guy sees the detail in everything and at the same time sees it as a whole, whatever that is. And I think you're exercising that in your life at the moment. What is the Magician here, please? The Magician is some kind of personal truth, is some kind of turnstile that you've walked over. We've got He of the Fiery Sword, piercing of new information. This is all about new information here that you're using. You're utilising it, whether you're conscious of that, water signs, or not. You are at this current time using it. And things are coming into being, those things that you need, that you want. A test of the mind. I mean, there's certainly a testing period that's been gone through over possibly 2022. We get the singer of initiation, because it is an initiation. It's a new way of doing, possibly, for some of you water signs out there. But it's on its, we've got Nellis the Alchemist. This is a card of pushing the first domino, and so we're on that. The dominoes are going bum 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 bum, and they will keep going and doing that until we see what is actually coming into form from this. Now, from this Princess of Discs, giving birth, gestation, there's a seasonal element to this card. The movement is well underway, water signs. Just a glimmer into this High Priestess, the information that the High Priestess may well have a testing time. It has been. Water signs, a testing time. We get the Guardian at the gate to clarify the High Priestess. We got pushed through that tight spot there. Whatever that has been for you, it has been a productive and necessary requirement for your own personal evolution here. Now, remember, these are general readings, of course. You will have all the elements in your astrological chart. And so take what resonates and just leave what doesn't. Can we look at the... we've got the Singer of Transfiguration coming out after that. This is a phoenix rising from the ashes, watery signs. This is transmutation. We're really looking at that as these two as sort of hand in hand, skipping along the yellow brick road there. It's quite an achievement. Just one more card for might get to. We've got the Singer of Intuition. Yep, that's right, the yellow brick road. Water signs. The Singer of Intuition, High Priestess stuff. You've got a card of alchemy. You got pushed through like a birth canal yourself. You're bringing something else in. You might be working somehow, water signs working. How can I explain that? Not so much being an example for other people, but you might be actually. I mean, being an example for other people, that other people are looking at you as having achieved something already, even though possibly it hasn't really come into form yet, but they see the formulation that you have undertook, the process that you've undertaken. So I do see other people seeing you as a little bit of a guiding light. Water signs, we'll just get one more. One more for water, please. And this is perfect. So at the end here, we have the transformation, and that's what it's all about. But what was it all about? What kicked it off? Unfinished business, dear water signs. This is the feline. It is about unfinished business. It's about clearing your slate, if that's the right way of putting it. Cleaning and clearing what needed to be done. It's like having that, corner of a room or something that maybe you just throw stuff in it, and there's a couple of baskets or boxes there. And if you think, oh no, I'll throw it in there. It's like going through all of that and clearing it out. I think there's always at the beginning or the end of a year, there's always a big clean out, whether that's purely metaphorical, mental, psychological, or in the physical world, in your personal space. Sometimes we can avoid the feline, we can avoid it for a lifetime, whatever it happens to encompass. And sometimes we don't. We want to tackle it, we want to clean it and clear it and vacuum up the bits of crumbs and dust afterwards. And that's what we've done, water signs. I think it's beautiful, and it's bringing something new in for you in this 2023 year. Get a rock mineral crystal for Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Rock mineral crystal, please. Golden. What is this? Golden or gold sheen obsidian. I guess there's lots of different kinds of obsidian. I love it personally. Oh, it's got a sort of metallic sheen to it. Personal power, spiritual manifestation, earth healing, and new experiences. I think this is in store for you, water signs, as we venture into this year, 2023. We start the year crowned with a glorious full moon in Cancer. And so on that note, I hope you got something out of that, water signs. Thanks so much for joining me. And we'll see you for the new moon in Capricorn and the individual readings at that point. But do check out any reading on this channel. The title stands out for you at this time. Check them out, and thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you're taking it easy over the next few days. And on the other side of that full moon, you'll be so revitalized. It'll be fabulous. On that note, take care, water signs. See you next time. Bye. Ka kite.